Good morning, everyone. It's Lindey. Today, I'm on my third cup of coffee, and there's a topic that I would really like to talk about. Here is my disclaimer, okay? I'm probably gonna say some things that are going to upset a few people, but these are all my personal opinions. You might think otherwise, so everybody has opinions, and you know what they say about opinions, right? I'm not gonna say it because when I get really worked up, I have a mouth on me, so I'm just gonna, you know what opinions are like. You know. I want to talk about direct sales, okay? But I want to talk about direct sales in a way nobody's gonna talk about. But somebody has got to say something. It might as well be me. Again, here's another disclaimer. I am going to say things in this video that are going to piss off a lot of people. I'm sorry if it makes you upset. I am. But it needs to be said. But I do think there's going to be a lot more people out there that appreciate what I'm about to say more than the people are going to get upset. All right, is everybody ready for it? Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath. Ready? We're gonna let it out. Here we go. Direct sales is a joke. Okay. I feel better after getting that off my chest. Is anybody else better? Is anybody else wanted to say that but hasn't really said it out loud? Oh, I feel so good. Okay, well, on to the rest of the video, which contains the explanation as to why I think this way. I promise you that I'm not just blowing smoke, okay? There is a logical reason why I feel this way, and I would love to share it with whoever either feels the same way or wants to hear it. So, I want to say almost every single day when I wake up and I have a cup of coffee, and I scroll through my Facebook feed, and I'm enjoying watching the sun come up in the few minutes of silence left that I have, waiting for my children to get out of bed and come downstairs to terrorize me. There's one thing that I just love seeing on Facebook. Your friend has added you to a Facebook party! A Mary Kay party, a Jamberry Nails party, a Unique party, a 31 party, an It Works party, a Plexus, Ding Dong, an Avon party, a Scentsy party, a Pure Romance party, Herbalife party, a Pampered Chef party, a paparazzi party, a pink zebra party, a beach body party. I don't know about you guys, but I am totally partied out. Completely. Okay, so now that I've got all of that out of my system, let me tell you why I am qualified to have this opinion. Because I am qualified to have this opinion. Because I jumped on that direct sales train with everybody else at the beginning of the year. And this is my experience with it. And this is why I'm qualified to say that I do really think that direct sales is a... So let me tell you a story. Everybody knows I like stories. But I need more coffee. So I had been semi-invited to a few different direct sales Facebook parties. Not a lot, but a few at the time. I had a very good friend of mine join Jamberry. If anybody doesn't know what Jamberry is, it's those really cute nail wraps. They're like heat activated adhesive nail wraps. So you basically can do a manicure and it lasts up to 2 weeks. So it's a really interesting concept. It is, I'll give it that. So very, very good friend of mine joined Jamberry, or she was about to join Jamberry. She was hosting a party for a friend of hers, and if she were to get enough sales at her party, then she would be able to get a consultant kit at a discounted price. So she had messaged me, said she was having this party. She had asked me to kind of help out with it, participate, play the games, and do all of this stuff. And since she's a really good friend, I was totally into it. I'm like, you know what? I haven't really done Facebook parties before. I'll totally help. Sure, I can go through, I can like posts, I can participate in party games. Why not, right? So I participated in some party games, won some prizes. Not gonna lie, I was really intrigued by the product. I was really intrigued by the product because I am a nail biter. I've been a lifelong nail biter. And at first I was kind of like, this product's not for me because I bite my nails. But then I had bought a few sheets, I had tried it out, and I was really impressed with the fact that when I was wearing them, I wasn't biting my nails. So I was really intrigued by the product. Really intrigued. So my really good friend did hit her sales goal, and she got a discounted consultant kit. So she became a consultant. And when she became a consultant, she was totally jazzed about it because she had wanted to do it for a while. She loved the product, and she still loves the product. I want to put that out there. She still loves the product. But she and I had talked, and there are certain what they call fast start goals that they want all new consultants to hit. Fast start goals like in your first month, sell X amount of dollars of merchandise, get a recruit to sign up underneath you, and host so many parties. And then once you hit that first tier fast start goal, you get a bonus. You get like product credits, and you get like $100 or $150 sign-on bonus. And then the next month, it's a little bit more. You know, do so many parties, you get maybe 1 or 2 more recruits. You sell a certain amount of dollars in merchandise, and then once you hit that fast start goal, you get X amount of dollars. And then there's a third month, and then at least for Jamberry, it stopped after 3 months. So she was telling me, I have these fast start goals. I really could use the bonus money, and she was talking to me about joining. And at the time, I really had no desire to do direct sales. I had heard some, not really heard bad things, but there's a stigma. There's a stigma. I mean, you know, the Avon lady, the Tupperware people, the ones that knock on your door and annoy the hell out of you until you buy something from them. I didn't want to be one of those people. But there was so much information out there that had me absolutely convinced that this kind of direct sales format was not going to be that way. I wasn't going to be harassing strangers. I was going to be selling a quality product. It was really cheap to join. It was. I ended up signing up under her so that she could hit her first fast start goal. I had signed up under her. It was $99 plus shipping plus sales tax. So I was like $140 into it when all was said and done. And for that initial startup fee, you got not only the consultant license, but you got a whole bunch of stuff. You got like all of these really cute wraps. You got a mini heater. You got all of these consultant tools. And, you know, so they really gave you your money's worth. That's primarily another reason why I signed up, because I did like the product, and I figured that if it helped me stop biting my nails, it would be something I would stick with. And by joining as a consultant, you get all of this stuff, and you also get a consultant discount. And I love discounts, especially if it's on a product that I think I'm going to use. So I was totally into it. Nobody held a gun to my head. I joined as a consultant. And before I joined as a consultant, I went to the YouTube world and I Googled, because my husband, bless his heart, was convinced that it was a pyramid scheme. Which it didn't seem like a pyramid scheme. But he was kind of like, Lindey, think about it. You only make really good money at it if you build up people underneath you, which is true for the most part, because most of the training videos and instructional videos that you'll find on YouTube for Jamberry specifically, it's all people who are like lead consultants and team leaders and all of these people that have people underneath them. Because when you're a consultant, you make 30% of your sales, right? But when you're a lead consultant or a team leader or somebody higher up on the tier, you get your 30% sales of whatever you sell, but then you get 5% of everybody else underneath you, 10% of everybody else underneath you. So they really incentivize people to get people to sign up under them to sell merchandise. And when you think of it that way, it really does seem like a pyramid scheme, but it's not a scheme because it's a legit product, right? Right? So I figured, what the hey, I'll give it a go. Why not? It's something to try out. It's not a huge investment, right? So I started, had my launch party, and a lot of my friends really weren't interested. They weren't. And honestly and truly, I was really hurt by that. Just because I felt like when my friends would have parties or want to include me in these things, I was always there. But then when I became a consultant, all my friends just kind of vanished. And it was a little hurtful. It was a little hurtful. And I kind of brushed it off because the friends that were there for me were like really there for me. And I had 4 good friends say, I'll host a party for you. You know, because my sales at my launch party were, they were bad. They were really bad, y'all. They were awful. I made 30% of sales. I made like $30 at my launch party. I didn't even make enough back at my launch party to pay for the kit that I bought. So it was crazy depressing to say the least. But these 4 good friends that I had told me, look, I don't have the money to buy the stuff, but I'll host a party for you. Maybe my friends will buy from you. So honestly and truly, that was good enough for me. I wasn't looking to make a ton of money off my friends, but I was thinking, oh, I could always make money from my friends' friends, right? Mm-hmm. So my first friend hosted a party and it went pretty well. I made probably $120 in commission. So it was a lot better than my launch. And then from that party, I booked more parties. And this is the program that they have you do. You know, you book parties, people have parties, friends buy things, then their friends book parties, and then the friends of the friends have a party, and then those people buy things, and then those friends book a party, and then their friends. So you end up having a customer base nationwide because friends of friends of friends of friends of friends, they all book parties, they all have friends that buy stuff. So that's the model, okay? So in theory, it seems fail-proof. Really, it seems fail-proof because as long as you have one friend of a friend that signs up to host a party for you, you're still keeping up your momentum. You're still hosting the same amount of parties, right? It's all right, I need a drink. I'm running low. Oh no. So, in theory, this works. But I didn't think of when it would go bad and how that would happen, how I would get out of this rut. And I hit the rut hard. I had done like 6 successful parties and I had made about $600 or $700 in commission. But I had also bought a lot of merchandise myself. I had bought the kit, plus I had bought some discounted wraps and things to do as giveaways at parties. Because when you are doing a party for direct sales, you have to have games, you have to have prizes, you have to keep people interested, you have to keep people wanting to buy things from the direct sales company. And so the best way to do that is to have prizes for games and things like that. So I had reinvested a few $100s into buying prizes and merchandise, and you have to buy mailing supplies, and you have to spend money on shipping to get things to people, because if you're not having parties in a house and you're doing it online, you have to mail things to people. And I wasn't doing home parties. I couldn't do home parties because I have small children and my husband deploys, and I was on my own without a regular sitter, so I was stuck doing it all online. But so I did about 6 successful parties, and I made between $600 and $700. And then one friend of a friend of a friend that booked a party had 0 sales, and nobody wanted to host. And so I was like, it's all right. I still have like 4 more parties in the works. And then another person canceled their party. And then another person after that had 0 sales at their party. And then a person after that had 0 sales at their party. But someone booked a party. But then that person that had a party had 0 sales at their party. And so before I knew it, I had put in not only time and effort into like 5 parties, but I had also spent money on prizes and shipping fees to mail things to these party people. I was giving away freebies because you have to, have prizes for your games and stuff. And then you have to pay all of these shipping charges. So I quickly started going into the hole, and no parties had sales. None. There was people that would come to parties and they would be there for the free stuff. They wouldn't buy anything. And then I would just go deeper and deeper and deeper into the hole. And there wasn't a way to get out. There wasn't a way. I don't care who you are. Here's the part that pisses me off the most about it. Okay. When you are in that rut and you can't get any sales and you can't get anybody to host a party for you, you're almost made to feel like it's your fault. And that's the part that pisses me off more than anything. Because if anybody knows me in real life for any amount of time, I'm a fighter. I work hard. I have an entrepreneurial soul, and for someone to lead me to believe that it's my fault that nail wraps aren't selling pisses me off. Now I want to clarify, okay? I had a very nice team lineup, whatever you want to call them. Upline is what they call them in Jamberry. An upline. They were all very nice. But their advice was useless. It was useless. It was basically hound your friends until they host more parties. Blow up your Facebook page and annoy the crap out of people. See, I'm trying. I'm trying. When I get into something, I get a mouth. I'm sorry. And that's not me. I don't want to harass my friends and family to buy things, especially when it's something that they really don't need, especially when it's family and friends that I know don't have a lot of money. And it probably makes them feel bad if they don't have the money to try to support my business to tell me that. I mean, if you only have so much money and you need to go buy food for your family, you don't really want to spend the money on nail wraps to show your friend that you support them. You know what I mean? And that was just how I felt about it on the inside. And so I stopped. I was putting in way too much time and effort for 0 sales. 0 sales. So I quit. My very good friend still does it. I never really hear about it very much anymore from her. I don't know if it's just because I'm not selling anymore and she knows I'm not selling anymore, so she just doesn't want to let me know how she's doing. But I can tell just by her Facebook page that she's not nearly as into it as she once was too. So I think maybe she is starting to discover the same thing that I'm finding out. Because I do believe that there are people that do direct sales that do make really good money at this. But I do also believe that those people that make good money doing direct sales, there's a very good chance that maybe they have friends with a lot of money and they have a lot of friends that don't know how to say no. It's just a suspicion. It's just a suspicion because I worked hard. I put a lot of effort and energy into parties that produced 0 sales. And it was a waste of my time. It was a total waste of my time. I'll say though, that I do think that the one exception to this is Pampered Chef. I will say that. I've never been a Pampered Chef consultant, but I have been to a couple of Pampered Chef parties, and I love Pampered Chef. I do. I love Pampered Chef. I have a friend that sells Pampered Chef, and I've bought a lot of stuff from her. But the downside to Pampered Chef is that it is super, super expensive. And you almost feel bad inviting friends that can't afford to spend, you know, $30 on a can opener or $250 on a Dutch oven or $500 on a knife block. I mean, you almost feel bad because you don't want to be like, hi friends, join my Pampered Chef party. Here's a whole bunch of stuff you probably can't afford, you know, so that makes it really hard. But Pampered Chef is, I think, the one exception because it is a quality product, and I might just be biased because I like the product, but other direct sales companies, they're just, oh God. What prompted me to make this video is a couple of different things. The first thing is I think I'm going to lose my freaking fracking mind if my friends don't stop dumping me in parties. I'm like, it's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. There's always a party going on. And that just goes to show me how many people are doing direct sales now. Before too long, like, half of the population is going to be a consultant of something. Consultants, they're gonna take over the world. The second thing that prompted me to do this video is the fact that nobody will talk about the downside to direct sales. When I was looking to do Jamberry, I had done not only a Google search, but I did a YouTube search. And the only videos that I could find that were negative at the time, the only videos that I could find negative about Jamberry in particular were those misleading videos where they're like, the 10 reasons why not to join Jamberry. And then you go into the video and the video says, reason number 1 you don't want to join, you hate making money. And it's like, okay, so this is actually a video of why you should join Jamberry, and the title is misleading, whatever. That annoys me, by the way, when people do that. You know, there's all these videos about new party games to try, or cheap prizes to give away, or how to book more parties, or how to do this, or how to do that. There's like all of these training videos, and there wasn't anybody out there that talked about it not working for them. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I know this can't work for everybody. It just can't. You can't make a significant amount of money doing direct sales. And I really believe that anybody that says differently, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because I'm going to make enemies. If you can make more money with direct sales than I can make working half as hard doing eBay, then you're better than me. You're better than me. Third reason I wanted to make this video is because I know that there has to be other people out there like me. The people that are tired of all the Facebook parties and being asked to buy things. I get asked to buy things enough from my kids' school fundraisers. I don't need my friends hitting me up to buy things that I really don't need either. Okay? Most people have friends that are too nice to say no or too nice to ask them to stop. I'm actually one of those people. I'm too nice to tell my friends to stop. Maybe this video is my way of kind of venting without actually having to say it, because I don't like confrontation. I don't like confrontation, especially with my friends. You know, if my friends are selling something, I want to be there for them. I want to participate in the games, and I want to try to help them make money. But all the parties are getting old. They're getting old. Every day. Every day. Also, I want to point out another fun fact. If you notice, I'm not wearing nail wraps. I'm not wearing nail wraps. You know why? Because those Jamberry nail wraps started messing with my nails. My nails started flaking off in layers. And so I had tried to find an alternative, and I was told to put a base lacquer underneath the wraps. But guess what happened when I did that? The wraps just fell off. They just fell off. So I don't know if I just have weird nails or what. That's another reason why I stopped selling, was because I was not wanting to sell something to somebody that was failing for me. So that made me quit right there, because I was absolutely terrified of friends spending all this money, because they weren't cheap. They were not cheap. We're talking like $15 a sheet. And so they were not cheap. And I was absolutely terrified of my friends and family buying these things and then having them just destroy their nails. So that's another reason why I quit. Not everybody has that kind of result, so maybe I'm just a fluke. I don't know. But that's another reason why I stopped selling, in addition to everything else. Another illusion that I want to address about direct sales is that you're your own boss. That's what they say. Your own boss. You set your hours. You work from home. You could go to work in your pajamas. All of this stuff. But you know what? You're not your own boss. Yeah, you might be able to set your own hours, and yeah, you might be able to work from home, but you are not your own boss. And I'll tell you why. You have no control over quality of product. You have no control over complete customer service, because you don't even hold the inventory. Okay, the inventory gets mailed out. At least that's the way it is with Jamberry, with like cosmetics and It Works and Pure Romance and everything. I don't know if you hold inventory or not, but with Jamberry, you didn't hold any inventory. So you had no control over quality of product, you had no control over total customer service, and you don't have control of your pay. Because you could put hours into a party, and if there's 0 sales, you get 0 money. You are also not able to control your discounts. That was one thing that drove me up a wall about Jamberry. You weren't allowed to give the items away at a discount and cut your profits. That really irritated me, because I wanted to run sales where I would give like 10% off and just take that 10% out of my commission. Can't do that. It's against policy. It's against policy. You'll get flagged, you can get suspended, or you can get terminated. Yeah, no control. There was also a lot of stipulations. Jamberry had recently started working with Disney on creating really cute wraps. And there was all of these restrictions. There was a lot of consultants, a lot of them, that got suspended because they didn't say it right or type it right. You couldn't say Jamberry Disney wraps. You had to say the Disney I can't even remember what it is now. It was like the Disney collection, Jamberry the Disney collection, or the Jamberry wrap collection by Disney. You had to say it a specific way. And when they first came out with these Disney wraps, if you didn't write it correctly in parties or label photo albums correctly, you got suspended. And it was like a big thing. And I know that that part's not Jamberry's fault. That part was Disney's fault and their whole licensing thing. But that just goes to show you're not your own boss. If you have to say words a specific way, I'm sorry, but you're answering to the man. The man is there. So, after a couple of months of riding on the direct sales train, I hopped off and I stuck with eBay. Because with eBay, I was working less, I had more control, and I had nobody else to worry about but me. Which is pretty fantastic. I like being my own boss. Like, really my own boss. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the fact that I sell stuff to strangers. I don't have to hassle my friends. And I'm sure that they appreciate that even if they don't tell me. And again, it's the end of the video. But again, I wanted to say, if you do direct sales and it's working for you, and you're making a good amount of money, and when I say good amount of money, I'm talking like 1,000 or more per month, more power to you. More power to you. I don't know how you're doing it. If you are doing that, you should probably be making videos because I'm sure a lot of people could learn from you. I just don't see it as being a realistic thing. I see it as definitely being temporary. And like my husband now, I tend to have more of a pyramid scheme mentality about it, because when you join, that's the primary goal, is to have people sign up underneath you and do all the work, and you just collect commission from their sales. And that sounds like a pyramid. It sounds like a pyramid. Thank you for everybody that stuck with me during my rant. I hope that maybe I said things that you were thinking. I hope that we feel the same way. I hope I didn't make anybody too mad. But I do want to say that if you haven't done direct sales and you're considering doing direct sales, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you don't do it. That you don't do it. Because in the beginning, it always starts out good. And this is not just my experience. This is people that I've talked to. It starts out good, but it always fizzles out. It always fizzles out. So there are other opportunities. And, you know, reselling is one of those opportunities. You know, I could make the same amount of money spending one afternoon at Goodwill and listing things on eBay than I could working for a full week doing a party. So there are other options. I hope some of you found this video helpful. You know, maybe some of you liked it. I'm sure some people are gonna really dislike it. I'm sorry if you do dislike it. But like I said in the beginning, everybody is entitled to their opinion. And I was honestly getting really tired of people not saying the things that I was feeling, because I know that I cannot be the only person feeling this way. So anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see everybody in my next video. Bye.